How's it going, everybody? Chris Card's back through the mail. Monday 5 returns for you today on this eve of All Hallows Eve. Halloween tomorrow. First one is from Westchester, New York, and this is going to be a blast from the past, one from the vault. Got this back in 2020. And we have Mr. Bobby Valentine on an 87 Topps card. Rangers leaders card. Rangers, of course, in the World Series this year. Taking out the Astros to many people's delight. Ricky Wright also on that team leaders card. He will not sign. He doesn't sign. He's a tough one to get. So I figured I better get Bobby while I can. Of course, opened this a few years late, but it's still relevant today. Still need this card signed for the set. Glad to get this back from Bobby Valentine. Very outspoken and entertaining member of the baseball community. Of course, he ran for mayor in Stamford, Connecticut in 2021. Lost barely. 47% to 53% of the vote went to some lady. I don't know her name. Sorry. But Bobby claimed voter fraud, which is hilarious. Stop the steal, Stamford. Here we go. October 22nd, 2020 on this little pamphlet here. He was the athletic director of Sacred Heart University. I don't know if he still is or not, but anyway, he does still use this address. Great signer. He's got a signing coming up. If you got something expensive you need him signed on, but if you want him pretty cheap, he'll sign 1 or 2 cards at this address. Great return from Bobby V. Let's move on to our second return of the day. Tulsa, Oklahoma, return numero dos. We have an index card unsigned, and we've got some vintage here. We got Mr. Frank Lindsay. Frank Lindsay, 11-year career. 7 of those with the Gigantes. 72 Topps card signed nicely there as a Cardinal. He was a reliever. He only started 2 major league games in his entire career. He wasn't a closer either. He was what they would call a fireman. You would call upon him for any situation, any scenario. He would come in and attempt to put out the fire. Made a pretty good career out of it. 83 years young, still signing strong. Awesome return from Mr. Frank Lindsay. Baltimore, Maryland for our third return of the day. Let's tear into this bad boy, see who we have. We've got a unsigned index card, and we've got Mr. Mike Boric on a 92 Donruss card right there, signed beautifully. 14-year career. Spent half his time with the A's, the other half with the Orioles. In fact, he's in the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. Mike Boric, there's his business card he sent along as well as sort of an extra. Very nice return from Mike Boric. Mike Boric spent some time with the Mets in 2000. Ray Ordonez went down. They traded Melvin Moore for Mike Boric. Of course, Moore would go on to have some great seasons with Baltimore. Of course, he was probably roided to the gills. But nonetheless, of course, he left the Mets and became a superstar. Mike Boric came to the Mets and helped them lose the 2000 Subway World Series to the Yankees. In fact, 2000 was his All-Star year. His only All-Star appearance was in 2000. Great return from Mike Boric. Let's move on to return number 4. San Diego, California, right here on our 4th return. A wonderful place to visit. And we have, let's see here. We've got, oh wow, we got Jose Vizcaino. This took a while. And that is a beautifully signed Leaf card right there. Man, Leaf had some really nice looking cards. Speaking of the 2000 World Series, he won a World Series ring with the Yankees. In fact, he hit the walk-off RBI single in the bottom of the 12th in Game 1 of the World Series that year against the Mets, against his former team. Remember that well. At the time, the longest postseason game in baseball history. I'm sure that's been eclipsed since then. Had him sign a few Met cards. They look wonderful. Jose Vizcaino had some really great years for the Mets. Mets got him from the Cubs for Anthony Young, the late, great Anthony Young. Spent 18 years in the bigs. Played really well for the Mets, Dodgers, Cubs, Astros. Him, Darryl Strawberry, and Ricky Ledee, the only 3 former players who played for all current or former New York teams, the Giants, Dodgers, Mets, and Yankees. Crazy he never made an all-star team because his numbers were much better than Boric. Maybe he wasn't a first-half player. Maybe he was kind of a second-half guy. Nice return from Jose Vizcaino. Looks like he kept the duplicate Leaf as well as the select card, so no problem there. Let's move on to our final return of the day. San Diego, California, once again, wonderful place to go visit. Book your flight today. This is the Yogi Berra stamp return, which means I sent this off to a ballpark, which means this is going to be a current player. Forwarded to my new address. Glad I got it. And just one card in here, as I usually just send 1 or 2 cards to current players. And we've got Mark Malanson. To Chris, best wishes. Mark Malanson, 14-year career, drafted way back in 2006 in the 9th round by the Yankees. Was awesome with the Pirates as a save guy. 51 saves, leading the league in 2015. 3-time All-Star with the Pirates, and of course also an All-Star with the San Diego Padres, who he also led this league in saves in 2021 with 39. Not that many for 2021, but 39 saves, led the league twice in saves, 4-time All-Star. Awesome return from Mark Malanson. 2023 was a lost season for him. Injured in spring training, never came back. Not able to help the Diamondbacks, of course, win the National League and try to beat the Texas Rangers in the World Series, which is ongoing now, tied at 1. Mark Malanson, of course, sent him 2 cards, only got the Topps base back, did not get the beautiful 2011 Topps Update Cognac Diamond Anniversary card back. That would have been pretty cool to get signed, but as I said last week, and I've apologized for repeating myself, if you just want to get 1 card signed, just send 1 card. I sent 2, kind of being a little greedy, and that beautiful cognac card that I spent 99 cents on, I did not get signed. So, bummer, whatever. Very happy to get this return. Nonetheless, awesome way to finish off this week's Through the Mail Monday. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I do this every single Monday. Would love to have you along for the ride. And there you see this week's hauls. Mike Boric, Frank Lindsay. What a lineup. Bobby Valentine, Mark Malanson, and, of course, Jose Vizcaino. I can hear Harry Callis saying his name right now. I can close my eyes and hear it like it was yesterday. Very cool return. Look at those Jose Vizcaino cards. You guys know when I was a kid, I had 4 binders full of Mets cards. I put them all in alphabetical order, starting with Don Ossie and ending with Victor Zambrano. And here we are, 25 years later, and I've been rating these binders of Mets and sending them off to get signed. So these cards, it's weird to like handle cards you haven't touched since you put them in when you were like in 6th grade or 7th grade. So kind of weird. Kind of feels weird to send them off through the mail. But I mean, yeah, I'm 44 years old. What, in 20, 30 years when I drop dead, someone's going to come across these binders and be like, oh my God, someone give me $1 for these binders, No one's going to want them. It's my collection. They're not worth anything. So I've just been rating these binders, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go nuts and send off as many of these cards as I can, see if I get them signed. So I sent 6 off to Vizcaino, got them all signed. Viola, a few of the other Mets. Some of these guys you've seen probably a couple times now on Through the Mail Monday. Usually these guys, I'll have 4 or 5 cards, and I'll find 4 or 5 more in the binder, and I'll just send them off every year or every couple years or whatever, and get some more signed. So that's what I do. Anyway, that's it, my friends. Enough rambling. Thanks for watching. See ya.